Another relationship we deal with a lot is comparison. We have to compare things. And we like to put them in column graphs that are side by side, which is fine when we have two things that we're trying to compare. But when we start adding in more and more of those columns, it gets very difficult to actually compare those categories. So what else could we do? Well, another solution could be what we would call small multiples. Cleveland and McGill said that we can compare things that are on a common scale, even if they're so long as those are side by side and the scales are the same. So small multiples is a really good way to try to compare when we have a complex data set. We can break it out and compare them in small multiples. It works best if we order them in some way from like greatest to least on one of those categories. Yet another way to show comparison is a back-to-back bar chart. This works best when we want our audiences to see the overall shape of the data set. So we order one from greatest to least, and then our eye can see where the other doesn't match. I wrote a blog post about how to make these, and one of the data viz nerds out there in the world commented and said, no. You cannot show your data this way. You need to have the teachers flipped over and be underneath principals, so it's green, orange, all the way down. And then he linked back to his blog post where he described that, of course, right. And I said, and that might work for you, but in my work, I need my audiences to do different things with the data, so I have to have lots of ways of showing this, because if I want my audience to see the shape of the data set, it'd be really hard if teachers and principals were on the same graph. You'd have to like mentally turn off the orange just to look at the green. That's hard to do. So this way, we're actually encouraging our audiences to look at the shape of the data set. So it really depends on your purpose and what you want your audiences to do with that information. We need to have lots of options available to us. And perhaps my favorite way to show comparison is with a dot plot. This is dots on a line. This is the easiest thing for humans to interpret accurately. It is dots on a line. We don't see it very much because it's not a default chart option in Excel. But you can make it in Excel. I made this one in Excel yesterday, and we had a little seminar where I led a workshop, and we together made dot plots in Excel. So it's possible to do. I find it hard for the data nerds like us here in the room to get our heads wrapped around this one because it's not something that we're used to seeing. But the mainstream public who doesn't spend all day in spreadsheets thinks this is really awesome.